with that, I'm ready to take 2 or 3 brief questions before I go back and chair the next meeting.
And please introduce yourselves. Over there.
Elena Chernenko, Kommersant Daily newspaper from Russia. Yesterday, before leaving here to this meeting today, the foreign minister of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, said that there will be no progress on NATO-Russia relations as long as NATO does not listen to Russia and Russia's concern. Why does not NATO listen to Russia's concern?
We listen, and we have listened today. I hope Minister Lavrov has also listened to NATO concerns. And that's actually the essence of our dialogue. We listen to each other. And of course, we take Russian concerns seriously. This is also the reason why I have repeatedly stressed that the NATO missile defense system is not directed against Russia. We do not consider Russia an enemy. We do not consider Russia an adversary. We consider Russia a partner. And we want to develop a true strategic partnership as we decided 1 year ago in Lisbon. And we do believe that it is part of that true strategic partnership that we also cooperate on missile defense. So we take it seriously when the Russians request assurances that our system is not directed against Russia. And we have reiterated it is not directed against Russia and invited Russia to cooperate so that they can see with their own eyes that it is not directed against Russia and provide transparency through that cooperation. So we take it seriously, and we do believe that we have provided the right answers.
BBC.
Yes, Secretary General Jonathan Marcus, BBC. Could you just set out the timescale that you hope for an eventual agreement with Russia? You've been saying all along you hope something to be agreed by the Chicago NATO summit. Isn't it far more likely that this is an issue that Russia will want to negotiate with the next incoming US administration, and so therefore any movement on this subject is likely to be delayed for some considerable time?
I think we should all recall that this will be an ongoing process. What we are going to develop is called a phased adaptive approach. So we will, during the next around 10 years, gradually introduce the NATO-based missile defense system. So of course, the dialogue will also go on for quite some time. But I think the first step will be to reach an agreement on a political framework, so to speak, by May, when we have the NATO summit in Chicago, because at that summit we will declare an interim operational capability of the NATO system. And it would be quite natural that we reach an agreement with Russia at the same time. So this is a reason why the first time horizon would be and should be May next year.
Over there.
Russian State TV, Zvezda TV channel, Ministry of Defense of Russia. My question is about the progress. So we still don't have an agreement, but if we speak about the progress in talks with Russia in missile defense, so what kind of progress is it? Maybe a few words more about it. How are you going to work with Russia to cooperate?
On missile defense. As an example, we have suggested that we visualize the common purpose of our missile defense cooperation through the establishment of two centers, two jointly staffed centers that can constitute a framework for exchange of data, for preparation of common exercises, for elaboration of joint threat assessments, just to mention some examples. Hopefully, we could reach an agreement on the establishment of such two centers. That's at least an idea to consider. I have also reminded people that already in 1997, when Russia and NATO approved the first founding document, also called the Founding Act, the first document that structured the cooperation between NATO and Russia, already then in 1997, we declared that we will not use force against each other. That's really a strong political statement, a strong political guarantee, if you wish. I think it would make sense to reiterate that strong political statement. And the more so because next year we can celebrate the 15th anniversary of the Founding Act from 1997. And actually, next year we can also celebrate the 10th anniversary of the establishment of the NATO-Russia Council, which took place in Rome in 2002. So we have two excellent occasions to celebrate in Chicago, and we could do that by a refreshment of what we have decided already many years ago, that we will not use force against each other. That's a strong political commitment. That's a strong political guarantee.
Thank you very much.